What's going on, everyone? So there's a lot of talk and speculation going around right now about will LeBron James leave in the offseason. There's a report that came out that two executives believe that whichever team drafts Bronny has a real shot at getting LeBron James. Now, here's the thing. Will they get LeBron James eventually? Probably. I think that that's a safe bet. LeBron has been very open and adamant about hey, I want to play with my kids. I want to play alongside my kids at some point. And I fully expect LeBron to do that at some point, unless his kids are completely against it, right? If Bronny's hey, Dad, look, I'm trying to pay my own way. Last thing I need is you coming here. If it's something like that, then I don't believe he will go and play with his kid, right? He's not going to put his kid in that situation. If Bronny tells him, you're not going to hear anything publicly. But if Bronny's behind closed doors, hey, Dad, I'd prefer you not do that, right? Then I think he'll just ride in the sunset. Look, I fully expect, and maybe this video ages well, maybe I have egg on my face, but I said this last go around, and guess what? LeBron signed a new contract. Just like in this offseason, I fully expect him to sign a new contract. LeBron's not leaving anytime soon. Will he leave the Lakers eventually? I believe so. Because, look, I think even when he goes to, and he's ready to hang it up, I think he'll probably do one of those things where it's you sign a 10-day or something just to retire a Cav or something. At some point, he's probably going to leave the Lakers. But I think it's when he's ready to hang it up. LeBron didn't come to LA solely for basketball reasons. If he came to LA just for basketball reasons, there were better options out there, right? There were better teams out there that were ready and primed where he could have went to and basically probably won multiple championships by now. Probably won more than he's won with the Lakers, right? If he really wanted to just run away with the league, could have went to a Golden State, right? He could have stayed in Cleveland. He could have went back to Miami. He could have done several things. He could have went to the Sixers, right? He had other options. I mean, every team in the league was trying to get LeBron James. And look, I'm not saying LeBron James doesn't want to win. Of course he wants to win. But he came for his family. His wife and his kids wanted to be in Los Angeles. He wanted to be in LA to grow his empire, establish businesses, establish relationships, get things in line for post his NBA career. That was the idea. That was the plan. And hey, let's go win some championships here in LA. Be part of the Laker brand. Be part of the Laker dynasty. This is where all the greats have played. All of that jazz, right? LeBron is a student of the sport. He is familiar. He knew what this would do for his legacy, for his brand, for just life after basketball, all of those things. And this is huge for him, right? And he's not going to just now leave it. Now, when both of his kids enter the league, now we maybe could start talking, right? But he's going to let his kid marinate a little bit, right? He's going to let his kid have a year or so to kind of figure things out. He'll be working with them, don't get me wrong, but he's going to let his kid kind of pave his own way a little bit here as LeBron. Because, look, LeBron, probably the way he's playing, probably has another 3 to 5 seasons left in him, right? I think once he starts to come down to the end and he's getting ready and he's all right, in the next year or two, I'm ready to retire. That's when I think you'll start seeing that pivot and that transition, which, again, I don't believe is for at least another maybe 2 years. I think he'll ride out one more contract with the Lakers. He'll have next year, he'll have the year after, especially if the Lakers win in that time. Let's say the Lakers win the championship this year. Again, not saying that they will, but let's say they do. You never know. Get them into the postseason, I'll take my chances. But let's say they win the championship this year. You think LeBron's going to leave? No, he's going to be hey, let's try to go back to back. Let's try to win it again. Or let's say they don't win it this year, but they win it next year. Let's say they do land that third star and they do end up winning, right? LeBron wins a championship. You think he's going to? No, he's going to say, all right, let's run it back again, try to go win another championship. Let me see. I got another year in me. Let's do it, right? Once he's ready to start hanging it up, and okay, let me go into that, the road to retirement, right? I got about another year or two left. Maybe not at a high elite level, but a serviceable, let me go play with my kid. Also, if I'm on a bad team, no one's really going to be shocked that LeBron is not this, the expectations aren't going to be there, right? That's when I think he'll start to go. I think he'll play a year with Bronny. I think he'll play a year with Bryce, right? He'll sign like 1-year deals, play a year with Bronny, and then follow that up, play a year with Bryce. And now he got to play with both of his kids. Boom, he'll go sign that contract with Cleveland and retire a Cav. And there you go. He's off to the races, off to the sunset. Now we'll go build his life, live his empire. I wouldn't be shocked if he's right back at LA, living in Los Angeles. I expect he'll probably own the Las Vegas team at some point. It's just, again, LeBron absolutely wants to win, right? If LeBron could win a championship every year, he'd win a championship every year if he could, right? He's frustrated. Don't get me wrong. You think he's happy in the situation he's in right now? No, of course not. But he understands the situation. He understands what else is in it. He's a family man. He knows he's at the tail end of his career. There's a lot that's going into this besides just the game of basketball. And he knows that. His family knows that. Everybody around him knows that. It's why, like, when there were all the rumors, Rich Paul immediately came out and was like, relax. Like, none of that is true. LeBron's not going anywhere. He doesn't plan on going anywhere. He doesn't want to be traded. He's not planning on being traded. And look, where's he going to go in the offseason? Right? Like, yeah, they could work out a sign and trade or whatever. But, like, what team is gutting their roster for a 40-year-old LeBron James at that point? Right? And then all the teams that have cap space are all the bad teams. Right? The Sixers would have some cap space that can maybe sign him. So maybe the Sixers are a threat. But outside of that, is he really going to go to Philadelphia? Probably not. If he was going to go anywhere, it's going to be a bigger market again, unless it's to go play with his son. Now, so I do believe at some point he's going to leave. But look, his legacy is locked. And he knows that. You think he really believes that, like, oh, if I do X, Y, and Z, I'll change everyone's opinion? No. He knows, look, if you believe I'm the greatest player ever, you already believe that. And all that I can do now is just cement that. If you don't believe and you believe Jordan's the greatest player ever, then nothing I do is ever going to change your mind at this point. Everything he's accomplished, all of his accolades, winning with all the teams that he's won, all of that, right? The people that are Team LeBron are always going to be Team LeBron. The people that are Team Jordan are always going to be Team Jordan. And LeBron could win the next 5 championships, and people will still come up with ways to discredit it and whatever, right? It's just how it is. It's just what the sports world is, right? In general, everyone has their opinions. Everyone has their biases. Everyone has, their person that they just look at as like, oh, that's it. So look, LeBron's knows. He's familiar with the game. He knows how it works, right? So right now, he's just looking at, all right, let me build life after the Lakers or after my NBA career. Let's establish my foundation so that way I can continue to grow in this generational money and all that stuff, and make sure my grandkids and all that stuff are good to go, right? I'll be the mentor for my kids once I'm out of the league and they get to do their thing. I will go play a stint with my kids. I'll go play a year with Bronny, go play a year with Bryce, and life will be good. That's what I expect at some point. Again, could be completely wrong. But you already are seeing the transition in many ways to LeBron taking steps back, right? Like, this season, you've seen the clear Anthony Davis is the best player. Anthony Davis is the most impactful player. LeBron James has kind of played secondary. LeBron James is just so good. He basically shows up and he gives you 28 and 8, right? Like, he doesn't even have to be there, but he's having like the least points scored of his, like, since like his rookie season or something like that. Like, the guy has clearly taken a step back, right? Some of that, I believe, is just he knows that, hey, I need AD to be the best version of AD if I'm going to win anything. I think part of it is like he knows, like, hey, eventually Father Time is going to catch up to me. And part of it is also like, hey, I just don't have it in me anymore to control a 48-minute game, right? But he's still out there. He's playing 35 minutes a game, doing incredible stuff. He's having the most efficient season of his career. He's kind of gone into the smarter Bron, right? He understands that, like, I don't have just the dominance in me anymore to where I'm just so much better than you. There's nothing you can do to stop me. So I'm just going to dominate you and you're going to watch. he's now more methodical. He picks and chooses his spots, right? He's very like careful when he decides to go on little spurts and stuff, right? He kind of just coasts early on. Then you see that push, and then he'll go and get like 6 straight points or something. And then I mean, how many times this year and even last year would LeBron have like 4 points at halftime? And you're like, man. And then at the end of the game, it's like LeBron had 30. Didn't he have 4 at halftime? And it's like, well, yeah, he just gave you, he gave you 4 through the half, and then first half the third quarter he gave you 10, and then in the fourth quarter he took over, closed, and gave you 15 points, and there you go, he had 29. It's like, okay, cool, right? So again, I don't buy it. Maybe you can look back at this video and call me out and be like, you were wrong. LeBron's a Sixer now, or LeBron went back to the Cavs or the Knicks or whatever, right? Like, maybe it's a possibility. But look, LeBron never said he's leaving this year for his son. He never said as soon as his son gets drafted, he's going. No, he just said he wants to at some point play with his kid, which I do believe at some point he will play with this kid. I don't believe it's this season. I don't believe it's right now, right? He still believes he has stuff in the tank. He still has another kid that's going to school and is supposed to go to USC. And he's sticking around for at least another year or two, at least. And then we'll start talking about it. We heard all the same stuff last go around. I said, it's not happening. Don't worry, be patient. Watch, he'll be here. Guess what? He was here. I'm telling you the same thing now. He's not going anywhere yet. He will eventually. And there's no guarantee his kid gets drafted this year. If he goes undrafted, I think the Lakers just pick him up just to make LeBron happy because, if he goes undrafted, it doesn't cost him anything. You could always just sign him to a 2-way or something, right? So I do think, if he goes undrafted, a team will take him. A team will pick him up, and I do believe it will be the Lakers. But to actually draft him, right, there's no guarantee. I do think some team will, right? Say a team like, I don't know, like Boston or whatever has I don't even know if they have a pick this year, but again, just use them as an example, right? Let's say they have the 30th pick in the draft or something, and Bronny's still on the board. It's like, okay, who are we going to get with the 30th pick? Let's just take him, and maybe Bron comes, in a year or so, and maybe he could be the difference because we keep not getting over the hump. I could see something like that, right? I definitely think I think he'll get drafted just because of Bron. And it won't even be so because a team is oh, LeBron James is the difference maker. No, I just think it'll be dude, do you know how much money we would make drafting his kid? 1, off of Bronny, and 2, when LeBron does come, whenever he comes, we're going to make a fortune off of that. So it would be more of a financial decision than anything. So there will be a team that'll draft him just for the sake of drafting him. But it is worth noting that there is a possibility that he may even say, hey, I don't want to go in the draft this year. I don't think I'm ready. Right? We've seen players do that. He had his health scare, which I don't want to go into. That's him and his family's thing. Not one of those people to dive into people's personal stuff. So I'll leave it at that. But he did have that. He is going to school. He is trying to figure things out. He is trying to get right. It's very possible he just says hey, you know what? I want to ride it out another year. Maybe even play with his brother in college, right? Maybe say, hey, let me ride this out till Bryce gets here, and then I can play with my brother, and then we'll go in the league together. You never know. There's a lot that can happen between now and then. But anyway, again, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Think Bron's leaving? Think he's not? Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? However you feel, let me know. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.